Great morning, great morning, great morning. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I am just happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for life. I don't take days for granted. I don't take you for granted. I'll come on here every week and just remind you that you are healthy, you are wealthy, and you are prosperous. Everything your hands go to touch, it must, it shall, and it will manifest, prosper, and grow great things because you are great. I'm happy and grateful for another day because every day we have is an opportunity to right our wrongs. Every day we have is just another opportunity for our purpose to be fulfilled on this journey, okay? And as you know, we've been talking about emotional intelligence, relational intelligence. We talked about the four categories: friendship, friends, what is it? Lord, friends. I know there's four: friends, advisors, assignments. What am I forgetting? The one from last week. Listen, we doing assignments this week. What was it? Friends, associates, friends, associates. We're doing assignments and then advisors. Okay. So assignments has totally got me jacked up. All right. I have been I have been studying this all week. And when I tell you my little backside beat up. So listen, with friends, we went down the checklist of what to look for. And then at the end, it's kind of like line yourself up with it. Like, are you a friend? You know, you want friends, but are you a friend? Do you have the character of a friend? Associates, we kind of went through that. Or, to me, that's kind of like that whole courting place of maybe friendship. It's the people that you encounter maybe at work, at school, wherever, and you are in that phase where you're learning one another, you're getting to know each other. So it's kind of like that whole dating part of before you become friends and really seeing things for what they are. And both of these, everything is on the YouTube. I am Nicole D. Jones. Definitely go back and listen to them, take notes, all right? But assignments, all right? You have to understand that there are some people in your life that are assignments. And this one messed me up, all right? So the assignment category is an interesting one because it's the one that's usually misinterpreted or misapplied, okay? So an assignment are the people who you will make deposits, but most likely you're not going to receive withdrawals, okay? An assignment is somebody that you will put a lot into, but you may not necessarily get a lot back from, okay? This is the thing. They're, when you think of someone who comes into your life, and the reason that I think I'm so caught up on this is I had to come into some revelations of a lot of things that I have heard from family, friends, different people of just displacing our time. Because when you think of friends, like I told you, friends are somebody that you're willing to give your time to, you're willing to give yourself to. But when it comes to an assignment, they look like a friend. They feel like a friend, because assignments, you got to remember, first and foremost, the difference is you're pouring in, you're giving. It's a purpose and a reason why an assignment is in your life. Whereas friendship, it's more give and take, okay? So you have to understand that. You also have to be willing in assignments to look at you, all right? Because you're the only one who can misplace an assignment. Now, how do you know when it's misplaced? And I gotta go all over the place because it is so many, I have so many notes. I just gotta kind of go, I'm going off my convictions today. I'm just be transparent with y'all, okay? So with an assignment, you have to understand that you have to have healthy boundaries, because with an assignment, it requires your time. It requires you to pour out. When you are trying to figure out, is this person a friend or an assignment, you have to understand like your response. Because when you have an assignment misplaced, that relationship is usually frustrating to you. It's irritating. It's kind kind of like, and this is the reason why, because the difference with an assignment and maybe peer assignments or friendship peer type conversations, when you're friends, y'all kind of dialogue, y'all give back and forth to one another because you're very transparent. But with an assignment, you have to recognize that this person is placed in your life for a reason, a purpose. It's something that you have that will allow them to grow. All right. You have to understand with an assignment, it's not about you. It's about your gift. All right. An assignment, you think about if you go to a game, you know how like you have, now there are some fans that are just ride or die, but most of the time when you go to a game, even if you like a ride or die fan, if your team start losing, you will start booing that player. You, oh my God, come on, what is wrong with you? Okay, listen, with an assignment, they're like that fan. When you're not giving to them, child, please, they will boo you in a minute and flip and go on with the other team. That's the difference between an assignment and a friendship, a friend, okay? But you got to recognize these, because when you think of like a fan, think of somebody that you know that is like a ride or die fan, okay? My dog is trying to get out and he can't fit. Hold on, y'all. Sorry about that. So you think about when you go to, like you think of a fan, some of them are ride or die, you know, but that's kind of the difference with an assignment, because it is not about you. It is about what you carry. It is about what you can give them. It's about, and oh God, this is the thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing, because that is what they're supposed to be doing. They're supposed to be receiving from you. What you have to do is you have to understand that they are not a friend. We have to understand how to build healthy boundaries, because we're spending so much time, because we're the one pouring out, we can kind of misinterpret it, okay? We can start thinking that this person is a friend, because when someone needs something from you and you're pouring out, they're going to receive everything that you give them, all right? They're going to take every conversation. They're going to take everything that you tell them. But you got to have healthy boundaries, all right? Because if not, in a friendship, in a real friendship, you and that person may be going through some things, and now you're giving your stuff to an assignment. You got to understand that an assignment can't handle you as a friend. Sometimes your purpose is so large, you can't even handle your purpose. And now in your emotions, you may start giving yourself. I wrote something down. Hold on. Let me find it. You'll start giving yourself to this associate that's not a friend, and you'll be all jacked up, because that person is not, they're not where you are. Most people can't handle. This is why I tell people all the time, you don't want me as a friend, because what I've understood, and I'm not saying this like I'm a bad person, but what I'm learning and I'm understanding is there is something inside of me that I don't even understand sometimes. And I don't say this in arrogance or pride. I walk in submission and humility, okay? I'm submitted to Jehovah God, and I am intentional to walk out in a humble posture. But even as I'm understanding and learning me, I'm learning and understanding that there are some things that I can't even handle, so I can't expect someone else to, okay? So listen to this. It is important to have a balanced perspective when it comes to authenticity and transparency in an assignment relationship, all right? We should be authentic with everyone. You should be your true self unapologetically with everyone. But that does not mean that you're supposed to be transparent with everyone. Okay? So you can be authentic. You should be. You should not be out here faking the funk. You should be who you are unapologetically, but that does not mean you need to be transparent with everyone. This is why it's so important, because when you think of an assignment, you think of someone in your life that you pour into more than you receive. Come on now, we're human. You think you're not gonna get comfortable? Do you really think that? And this is the thing. You have to understand the healthy balances, because you will pour in, because listen, when someone is in assignment, now anyone who knows me, I tell my daughter, I'm gonna use my daughter because she's mine, so I can. I tell her all the time, I'm never gonna shut up. I'm never gonna shut up, all right? I'm always gonna say what's on my heart. Now, am I calling Kadeja an assignment? Yes. But this is the thing. Hold on one second when I'm done, okay? This is the thing. I'm not saying it in a bad way. God gave her to me. She is assigned to me from Jehovah God. You got to understand that assignments come from God, okay? So it's not a bad thing. But the thing is this. I have to learn how to, I have the little people and they don't care that I'm talking. Give me a minute, okay? All right. Yeah, all right. So listen, with an assignment, you have to understand that it comes from Jehovah God. So with an assignment, there's blood on your hands, all right? With an assignment, everything that you're pouring out to them, you should not expect to receive back. If I'm giving my daughter relationship advice, direction, I can't expect her to give that back to me. Now, she's 30, so we can dialogue about some things, but at the end of the day, she is not my peer. She doesn't even have the years on this earth, maybe to give me what I may need in certain areas. But in her journey and in her purpose, we may be able to begin to talk about and conversate about relationships, because at this point, she's been in a relationship. At this point, she is now a mother. Now there are similarities that we're able to talk about, but that does not make her friend. That does not take away the assignment I have with her, okay? See, you gotta start being able to put these different things in perspective. I'm using Kadeja. She is my blood. She's my daughter, because I don't want to bring nobody else's name. And then y'all start trying to figure out where my head is at. It's not even about that, okay? Because these hats shift, but you have to be able to recognize the difference and understand with assignments, they're assigned by Jehovah God. You have to understand the person's posture. When I see that she is not receptive to what I'm saying, I stop. This is another thing with an assignment versus a friend, okay? Someone could be assigned to you, but that doesn't mean that they want to hear what you have to say, okay? They know, an assignment knows that you have something they need. This is why I told you earlier, with assignments, it is not about you. It is not about me. I have come to understand I could have 50 people around me, and out of the 50, it's probably 3 out of the 50 that are maybe a friend versus an assignment. But it's okay. I'm not saying it like it's a bad thing. I'm saying it as if, like, you need to understand who these people are and where they are in your life. And that way you are able to balance your expectations and keep them realistic. Because most assignments, they know they need what you have, but they don't want it. Or at least they may not want it at that time. So you have to know what it is that you're supposed to be giving and when to stop, okay? You got to know, because if not, you could get in the way of God. You can become the one who is in the way. Now, how do you know when you're in the way? Because you frustrated, irritated, busted, disgusted. You have an expectation of an assignment to give back to you with a friend or an advisor should be giving to you. And they're not wrong. You are, because that's not their role for you. Okay? So listen, let me go. An assignment has to be one, or they're going to be one, who's ready to value what you have to give them. See, these are you got to know this, all right? And when you can begin to recognize an assignment, when I tell you it'll make you humble, it'll make you humble. Because when you think of someone that you may call friend, most of the time, you sitting here murmuring and complaining about somebody because you've made them a friend. But maybe they're not in the friend category right now because the hats, they flip, okay? They switch. You somebody's assignment. Let's not get this twisted. You're more people's assignment than you are a friend, if we just honest. So this isn't about what's coming into you. You think about how many people, might be looking when you call their phone and they like, oh, Lord, okay? Assignments usually don't. They don't, okay? And then they don't give back. So when you talking to this person and they're giving you all their stuff and you helping them, and then when it come to your stuff, they like don't even hear you. I'm laughing because that's how my mom is. You can talk to my mom about something. She ain't heard nothing you said because it's always about her. But anyway, I got distracted. But with an assignment, there's somebody, they're usually they're asking you specific questions. Hold on. Sarai, stop. They're asking you like specific questions about a specific topic. And you're giving them your gift. You're giving them your testimony. You're giving them. They see something in you that they can benefit from. All right. So they coming to suck it out of you. Now, I ain't saying they're a leech because they're ordained and they're assigned by God. But what I am saying is, if you don't put them in the right place, you will let them suck the life out of you. And that's not their fault, it's your fault. That's not their fault, it's my fault. See, I'm over here exhausted most of the time. That is because I have people misplaced, right? When you can start placing people in the right place, you stop exhausting yourself, all right? Assignments is somebody who wants a healthy one, somebody who wants the help, okay? They want it. They want to listen to you. It may be hard. It may be hard to chew. It's even harder to swallow, but you'll see them taking bites off the plate as they need to, okay? Every assignment, every person, everyone you encounter that could be an assignment or someone assigned to you, all right? Like the 12 disciples. Jesus had the 3, the 12, and the 72. He sent out 2 by 2. Who are your 12? Okay? And when you start to recognize these people that are in your life, you got to stop putting them in the wrong place, be it if it's friends or associates, because you can do it either way. You have to have a discernment. You have to begin to know who you are so you're able to recognize these things and you're not getting in the way of God, or you're just not exhausting yourself. Because when you have someone in the wrong place, y'all ready? When you have someone in the wrong place, you can become bitter. You can be resentful. You can become Jezebel. You can walk in witchcraft. Witchcraft is not about having some voodoo doll and doing, the black hat and all of that. Witchcraft is manipulation. You could actually start manipulating a situation because you see and you want an outcome. Like, listen, with an assignment, you already see the problem. If one of your assignments is someone who is addicted to drugs, what's the answer? To be sober. Okay? Like, so we know this. So this person is placed in our life. They have an addiction. You're assigned to help them. So you want to help. You're trying to give them AA meetings. You're trying to, meet them when they drunken and on the street, and you go and you pick them up and you sit out with them all night long and you do all this stuff. All right? As you should, until it becomes unhealthy to you. All right? There is a point. This is why you have to know healthy balances. This is why you can't mix it up with a friend. Okay? Any friend of mine know, you can call me. I'm going to be there. All right? Sometimes foolishly. Okay? So what I've had to understand is the difference between an assignment versus a friendship. Because I should be able to go out for a friend. All right? You call me, you in need. It's cool. I'll get up. I can die to myself for you. But if you don't know the difference and you have 12 assignments and they calling you 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning and you just getting up, shame on you. Here's the thing. You'll become bitter and resentful eventually because you spending all this time and you see no progress. All right? So this is the thing. So I got this AA meeting. I'm going to sit in the meetings with you. I'm coming to talk to you. I'm coming to get you when you fall off the wagon, whatever all of that. There's going to have to be a point where I know to draw the line in the sand. Okay? This is why you have to be able to put people in the right place and perspective. Because if I don't, I may start manipulating with good intentions. I'm not saying you're purposely going and you're starting to do these things, but you may want something for someone more than they want it for themselves. Those are assignments. And then you find yourself kind of, guiding the conversation for them to do what it is you want them to do. Witchcraft, Jezebel spirit, look it up. I tell y'all, in personal growth and self-development, what time is it? 10:23. Personal growth and self-development, books everywhere. I'm reading on relational intelligence, emotional intelligence, but the one that has it all is the Bible. All right? Everything we're talking about, you can find it in the book of Matthew in the New Testament. You can find it in 1 Kings in the Old Testament. All right? Straight up. Okay? So you got to understand Jesus was an example. And even Jesus said, let me tell y'all what he said. When you're dealing with an assignment, if this person, you're talking to them and they don't think that you have what they need, they're in assignment, but they don't think you know what you're talking about with them. This is one. Or if they're one, they know that they need what you're telling them, but they just ain't ready to do it yet. That's a person. Or it might be someone, they don't want it. They just don't want it because they don't have purpose for their own life. Somebody may want it, they just don't want it from you. Okay? With these people, with this, listen, if you go and you kind of evaluate your circle, if anyone fall in them 4 categories, you're going to have to let them go in this season. You're going to have to let them go. One, if there's no appreciation to you, they're going to always minimize you. They did it to Jesus. Jesus went back to his own home and they're like, isn't he the carpenter's son? Isn't he this? Isn't he that? And they missed the blessing of Jesus. Now, if people did that to Jesus, why do you think you're so grand that people ain't gonna do that to you? See, this is why you need these healthy balances. So you relieve your frustration. You minimize these things where you don't fall into sin, okay? So this is the thing. If you're dealing with these type of people, you got to learn how to let it go. And that's hard because we have a connection. We have an emotional tied. You know, you care about this person. You care about their well-being. Just, you're a good person. You care about it. But you got to recognize the difference between an assignment, a friend, and associate. Okay? Because that assignment bucket, it can get so blurry going either way. But at the end of it, you're going to end up hurting yourself. You're going to end up hurting yourself. You can become controlling. You can become forceful. You can become manipulative. You just in the way of God. So you have to learn to let it go. All right. Last thing I'm going to tell you. So I talked about having a realistic expectation. You have to be balanced, be authentic with everyone, but you don't have to be transparent. There's a difference. Y'all go look the two words up and listen, feed your mind, all right? All right. And I'm gonna tell you this, and then we're gonna go because it's 10:27. You have to be willing when you're the one that's pouring into someone, give them room to grow. Give them room to grow. I've had to learn this with my daughter. Man, I give her so much. She should be fat. Kadeja this big. Man, she should be like a fat cat. And I finally, God had to convict me, like, child, can she chew one thing you said? Give her room to grow. Drop the seed when it's laid on you to drop, but understand when it's time to stop. Because sometimes you can keep dropping. You giving them too much. And now you frustrated and irritated because you can't keep a realistic timeline or just room. Not even a timeline, because you're not God, all right? But just give them room to grow. Can they take it and eat it, spit out what they need to, chew on what they need to, let whatever needs to grow for them grow, all right? We got to do this. And you got to be okay with it, because even Jesus said it. When the disciples went out and people weren't listening, he was like, all right, next, go to the next city, move on. That does not mean you throw people away, but you have to understand when someone has an ear to hear you and when they don't. If you don't, you'll just be frustrated. That's why there's so many people out there arguing with their daggone selves. You get to talking to your kids, your friends, your spouse, and you and they just sitting there chilling. They have tuned you out. You got to know when to stop. Chase your peace at all times, okay? Assignments come from God, but the timing is everything. Timing is everything. When you learn to be you unapologetically through submission and humility, not arrogance and pride, you're not trying to force feed anybody, because you're now learning to categorize people in a healthy way in your journey and in your walk, okay? Man, it's so much, but it's 10:29. I have to stop because I said I will always respect your time, okay? In this, I will make sure this is up today. Go back, listen to it. The last 3 weeks, all right? Next week, we'll talk about an advisor. That's pretty easy, okay? But the thing is, just remember to stay focused, stay humble, stay positive. Be the best version of you. Unapologetically. Keep your perspective, your balances, people, everything that has access to you, keep it in the right place so that you have peace and that you're able to grow the way that you need to too. All right. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I want you to continue to have a fantabulous rest of the day. Smooches.